Dr. Rashana Johnson Verwain, a licensed clinical psychologist. But today, I'm coming to you as Dr. RJ, protecting and keeping our children safe. Today we'll be talking about a series called My Job, Your Job, and Our Job. What made me think about that series is that when I work with children, adults, whoever in the community and in my practice, there's always some sort of confusion about whose job is it to keep our kids safe. And today I have the answer for you. It is my job, your job, and our job. My job is to give you accurate, evidence-based, and updated and new information on things that are going on in society to give you the answers on what to do and how to handle these difficulties. Your job is to use the information and to share it and to make sure that you're sharing it with everybody you know so that the impact can be great. Our job together is to hold each other accountable, making sure that we are both doing our part in protecting and keeping our children and youth safe. Today's topic is danger. 3 high-risk situations ruining our youth. Now this topic is very important. It is my passion, it is my sincere concern to help you and to guide you through the things that will save our youth because we're losing them. We really are. And as Dr. RJ, outside of my clinical self, I'm here today with you in your personal space to help you understand what to do, how to do it, and if you can't do it, who to go to. Okay? So I'm here today to help you. So just sit back, relax, take in the information, take a few notes if you need to, and just watch it over and over again until you get it. Our first topic today will be discussing the law as it relates to our youth. A lot of times when we think about the law, what we think is, oh, my child is perfect, I'll never have to deal with that. And that's okay. We have great kids. We interact with great children. We're responsible for great children. However, the reality is when adults are unaware of the law, then it's hard for us to teach our kids on what to do and how to behave accordingly. For example, if you don't know the law and a child that you are responsible for is in trouble, that is no defense. They're still in trouble, regardless of if you knew the law or you didn't. And today I'm going to take you through a few things that will empower you, that will give you the tools you need to keep kids you're responsible for safe. So, first we'll talk about the difference between school law and regular law. Now, something that a lot of parents, school counselors don't know is that school laws hold an additional rule behind them. For example, let's talk about drugs. If a child or teenager has marijuana on school property and they pass a joint to a friend, that's a crime, right? That's illegal. In addition to that, because they were on school property, that is then 2 charges, not just 1. And so we're going to go specifically through various examples of what to pay attention to and what to share with the children you are responsible for. So the first I'll start with is who can be charged with the crime. Anyone who is involved in a crime can be charged with the crime. It's sort of like the saying, birds of a feather flock together. If a child is with a group of friends, even if they are standing on the side, they will be charged with the exact same crime. They're guilty of the crime, even if they have a small part in planning it. Something that is really important to know is that laws are different in the community and in schools. And that's very important to understand that in school, things are more serious. They're more elevated, and so many children get into trouble that they cannot get out of because there is a lack of understanding about the law. So I'm going to help you with that today. I'm going to make sure that the children you are responsible for do not get caught up in these small nuances in the law. Let's start with different charges and who can be charged. So for example, did you know that the age to be charged as an adult can start as early as 13? 13 years old in the state of Georgia and in other states as well, you can be charged as an adult. So that means a child in middle school. Think about a 13-year-old. Kind of goofy, awkward at times. They're still, some of them still playing with Legos, for example. They can be charged as an adult and go to federal prison for certain charges. How does that make you feel when you think about that? It is very important for us to be informed on what we can do to protect our children. Ages 13 to 16 can be charged as an adult for the 7 deadly sins. Those deadly sins include murder, voluntary manslaughter, rape, aggravated sodomy, aggravated assault, aggravated child molestation, and armed robbery with the firearm. Felony acts include aggravated assault, aggravated battery, armed robbery with the firearm, battery on a school teacher or personnel, the second conviction for possession of a pistol, and possession of a weapon in a school safety zone, participation in criminal activity. And for all of these crimes, they're called designated felony acts. For designated felony acts, you can get up to 5 years for juvenile confinement. So let me pause and talk a little bit about what all of that means, because I know I just gave you a lot of information. Let's start with an example of armed robbery. What I see a lot in my practice, in my dealings with the judicial system, is that a lot of children are stealing iPhones, for example, or technology. And what happens is they are unaware that if you hit a kid with, let's say, a shoe, and the kid falls over and you snatch their iPhone and run, that is armed robbery. Armed robbery, which is a designated felony act. So this child now has a felony for mischievous behavior, and dangerous, but mischievous behavior. It is now a felony, which can impact their entire life. That's why it is important for me, you, and us to share this information and make sure that we are well informed on what the laws are. Another example is the crime by association, the birds of a feather flock together mentality. So let's say there are a group of kids together. One of the kids decides to steal a car for joyriding. Anyone who rides in the car with that child will also be charged with grand theft auto, which is also a felony. So what that means is it's really important to talk to your youth about who they associate with. Who are their friends? Find out who they are hanging out with, where they are, what time they're going. And you can do this while giving them freedom, but make sure that they know the people they associate with can make or break them. And sometimes as adults, we get sort of preachy and we want to be dictators and we just want to tell them do this or don't do that. And it goes in one ear and out the other. This is way too important for that. We have to sit down and have a conversation about these things that you are learning today. Another thing to think about, another point to think about, is that when something happens on school grounds, like I mentioned before, it is an additional charge. So battery by itself is not a felony, but battery against a school personnel is a felony. What that means is, if a child gets into a fight at school and there's bodily harm, that can be called battery, and that's a misdemeanor. About 1 year of probation or 1 year of detainment. If a child gets into a fight with a school teacher, school janitor, school counselor, any school personnel, it is then a felony. So that's very important when we're talking to children about controlling their anger and other things that you'll learn about in additional videos under this topic. So, what do you do if you find that a child you are responsible for is in one of these situations? It's because things happen. The first thing you do is consult with an attorney. That doesn't mean hire an attorney or that sort of thing, but consult with an attorney to find out if you need an attorney, if you can have someone else help you if the charge is serious enough. The next thing to do is to encourage the youth to always appear in court on the court date, even if they're innocent. Appear in court on the court date. Be on time. Dress appropriately. Be respectful. That's really, really important, because if there is a lack of understanding about the law or why a child is being charged, there's anger. I mean, that's normal. It's normal to feel angry and confused. However, if you go into a courtroom and you're not dressed appropriately, you have your cell phone ringing, you're wearing a hat, your clothes are too big or too small, you're wearing shirts with possible gang affiliations, all of these things I've seen for myself, they can completely impact the outcome of what happens.